People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down, when you're strange.
I hope everybody's hanging in with the coronavirus and everything else.
Hey there, paranormal friends. How are we doing?
My special guest this evening is Christina Thompson. I'm going to be bringing her on probably in about 10 minutes here. She is a person who has a sixth sense to the paranormal, and she has some amazing stories that she's going to be sharing with us this evening. I am super excited. I got to sit with her and talk to her about some of the stories that she wanted to share, and I got chills just listening to the things that she wanted to share with us. So again, I hope everybody is doing well and staying strong during this trying time that we're going through. I've said before that we can take this time to, take the world at a standstill, because we're always used to everything going so quickly, and just going right here, right now, with the internet and the drive-throughs and just everything. Everything is just so fast, and now they're talking about this whole 5G thing, which everybody is going crazy about because of the conspiracies and whatnot, and they're like, great, we're going to get over the coronavirus, and the next thing you know, we're all going to get cancer and die because of the 5G. So anyway, back to my show of Christina. She is, like I said, has a sixth sense to the paranormal, and she has been experiencing things since she was a little child, about 5 years old, she says. Her mother or grandmother, told her that, she's able to have these experiences and see things and such. So I'm just completely intrigued by everything that she wants to talk about and share with us. So I hope that you guys look forward to, listening and seeing it as well. And let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and throw at you guys my YouTube channel once again. It's NotSoNormal. You can reach me on the YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. And then also I'm on Instagram, NotSoNormal80. And then Facebook as well. Just like and follow me on all those pages. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and get her on the phone, and let's get this interview started. And give you guys some music to listen to in the meantime. Some break music. If I can find it again. Oh my goodness. With all the times that I have had technical difficulties for all my last shows and just everything going wrong, I'm so excited about this show that I'm having my own, brain farts over here. So please excuse me, but here's some music for you guys until I can get her up and going, all right?
Had technical difficulties for all my last shows and just everything going wrong. I'm so
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down, when you're strange. Faces come out of the rain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down.
Okay. All right, everybody, I'm back. I have Christina on the line with us now to share some of her stories with us. Christina, are you there? Yeah. Oh, let me turn you up a bit. Hold on. There we go. Let's try again. Hey, Christina, say hi.
Yeah.
All right, so I've already introduced you, and I told them about how you have the sixth sense of the lovely paranormal world. And I know that you wanted to start off with a really, really cool story that is actually local for you and I in Ocala, and it was called Mud Lake Park. So you can go ahead and start telling your story, my dear.
So me and my friends, we decided to go out to Mud Lake, which is like a place where, they used to take, slaves and everything, and they would take them out there, and it's really cool because, after a certain time, if you went out there, you can walk to the lake if you make it back, because they will, like, the spirits can choke you out and everything. And if you make it back to the lake, which is like 4 football fields from the gate, you will be able to see the apparitions coming from the water, like the rise from the water. You'll see random lights. You'll see crosses, upside down crosses, and just different things like that. And we ended up going, and it took us about an hour and a half to get to the place out in the Ocala forest, and driving up to where we will walk down to the gate. I had seen a man hanging from a tree. And then going farther down the trail, about 5 minutes, we've seen a lady hanging from 2 branches from a tree. And it was almost like they cut the rope, and she dropped down, but she didn't drop down completely onto like the car or anything. She dropped down to like right where you could see her in the windshield. So it was like really, really crazy, and you could feel everybody there. You could feel all the angry spirits that were there. You could feel it, and it's like, for me, it was crazy because it was like so many like different emotions that were like going on at one time.
I can imagine you were just being like swarmed with emotion and just feelings, and just I mean, you probably wanted to cry one moment, laugh another. You probably didn't even know what to do with yourself. And I know that during our speaking before, you said that when you, because the way that you said if you make it to the lake, what you're saying is because of the overpowering energy that you feel when you go, some people can't even make it. They end up passing out, throwing up, things like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I like I said, with a person with a sixth sense like yours, I mean, I could imagine what you were feeling. I mean, it's amazing that you were strong enough to make it, though. You made it all the way there. So that's really, really cool. And like I said, with it being so local, I would love to go check it out sometime, because I'm all into it. You know what I mean? I jump both feet in. I want to be as cool as Zach. But
it's a very interesting place to go to.
Right.
And if ever you wanted to go see something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And you said another story was about your best friend. That story was very interesting as well, how, you were just around her, and she had this angel or whomever following her around, right? Is that the correct one? Am I on the right story?
Yeah. I didn't know that her mom had died. And I've seen her mother around her, and I knew that you know, it was somebody important.
Mm-hmm.
So, first meeting her, I didn't like being too close to her because it was like the lady was surrounding her all the time.
Right.
All the time, all the time, all the time.
Almost like
And
a
when
guardian angel.
Yeah, it was really crazy because I could feel her and I could see a lady. And I was like, huh, who is this? So I had asked her one day because she had came to me in a dream, and she basically, you know, told me to watch her and make sure that she's on, like, the right path and that, you know, she wants good things for her daughter and not, you know, anything bad. I, like, it was crazy because I had no clue who she was.
Yeah, you've never met the mother, correct?
No, never met her. And apparently the mom died when she was 13, I think. Or no, she was either 8 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had called her and I had asked her, I said, before you tell me anything of, you know, who has died or anything like that, I'm going to just, like, the person who I seen, you know, she had black hair and glasses and she was short, she had dark skin, she had moles and the whole nine. And she started to cry, and I was wondering why she was crying. And I said, okay, so who is she? Because I've seen her multiple times. She's come and she's talked to me. Who is she? And she told me that it was her mom that had passed away a long time ago from cancer.
Yeah.
And I had no clue.
Yeah.
I thought her mom was still living. But she had died, and she was like, that's crazy. I said, well, this is what she said to me. This is what happened. And sure enough, whatever bad that she was talking about that was going to happen ended up happening. And, you know, we couldn't stop it because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
It was just her telling us, you know, hey, watch her. Make sure she's okay. Guide her in the right direction. And me guiding her into the right direction, or towards the right direction, she ended up getting into some sort of trouble that's what her mom was talking about when she came and she talked to me.
Yeah, like her mom had a feeling that something was going to be happening.
Yeah, that something bad was going to happen.
Yeah, I am kind of aware, or I've heard, I don't know if it's an actual fact or not, but that in the spirit world, they kind of can, you know, see what's going to happen in the future. You know what I mean? They kind of have premonitions. They have a better idea of what's going to happen than we do. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, that's why, you know, psychics or mediums or whatnot, even individuals as yourself, you guys get these people who come into your dreams and or even just appear at a moment in a mirror or whatever, you know, and they tell you, hey, this is what's going to happen, be prepared, you know, and you never know, you never know really what it is until it happens. But it's amazing how open and just awesome the spirit world is. That's all I can say. I'm completely amused and inspired, and just every great word out there. I love the paranormal world. I love the spirit world, and I just want to know more about it. Go ahead and tell me more about the Black Cemetery. Where was that located?
That was in Ocala as well, but it wasn't in the forest. It was just way far out. It probably took us about 30 minutes to get to. And when we went, it kind of didn't, at first it didn't feel like weird or anything. It was just different. It was like any cemetery. Like, oh my God, like we're in a cemetery. So as we actually started walking through the cemetery, we didn't really hear anything. I felt a lot because the cemetery was for the children of slaves that died from smallpox and SID.
Mhm.
Like when that outbreak happened, that's how they lost a lot of children, was because of smallpox.
Right.
So we went to one headstone in particular. We just picked one, and we stood there. And as I was standing there, I could hear the mother of the daughter talking to the daughter as if the daughter was still here, as if they were both still here, telling her, you know, you can't play with that. You know you shouldn't play with that. Master's not going to like the fact that you're playing with that.
Mhm.
And I was thinking in my head, I was like, what did she just say?
Right, Master, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Master, like, the way she was, like, her English was broken.
Mhm.
It was just, like, this person is not here. And it didn't sound like anybody that I came with. So I was wondering and I asked everybody, did you hear that? And nobody heard anything. It was just me who heard it. So I was like, okay, that was weird. So it must have been the mother of the daughter,
right,
who was buried in front of us, that was talking to her child.
But what's weird is you're saying that you're in a cemetery, and yet the mother and the daughter, obviously, I guess they're both passed away, right? This is a spirit mother, but what happens is what I'm kind of like confused by a little bit. Maybe the mother is lost. Maybe she's stuck in the world of wherever they were working. You know, because she said master and stuff like that. Because if you're at the cemetery, I was wondering if the cemetery was built where maybe the house used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I thought too, but I wasn't too sure because the cemetery, it was smaller. It probably had about 50 headstones in it, but I feel like there were way more than 50 children.
Right.
I feel like there were children buried on top of children.
Oh my.
Because it was like, you could tell the plots weren't small.
Right.
Because the headstones were bigger, and some of them you could, if you really tried to read them, even though some of them were cracked out, some of them, like, you know, the engraving was off, some of them were actually just stones.
Right.
You know, there was more than one name on the stone. So it was like, there was more than one person buried
in each plot, you think?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, I mean, but then again, back then, you know, there wasn't a lot of, you know, there was the depression and things like that as well during all those trying times. So maybe just to save on money or whatnot, they buried more than one child in each plot, possibly, you know?
Yeah, because burial plots are a lot, and even now, there's still a lot. So it's like, I feel like if they have more than one child that died from smallpox, or like one child died from smallpox now, and then one died, you know, 6-7 months later,
right,
they would, they would just spread it out. Like, they would put one at the bottom, and then, you know, they would put one at the top, and they keep piling them on because they didn't have any money to, you know, do separate or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think too. But like I said, it really was interesting when so like I said, even if it was originally just a cemetery, the mother is probably just stuck. That was probably her last memory of her child before she passed. Yeah. Because you know how they get stuck with their last memory, whether it be a good memory, bad memory, you know what I mean? That sometimes they get stuck and it just keeps playing and playing and playing, you know? And did you hear the little girl there as well, or was it just the mother?
It was just like I heard the mom more than I heard the daughter. Like I only heard her one time, and that was just a giggle. Like, it wasn't full. She the giggle sounded like a baby, like as if she was only about 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, but then we can think about this now. It may not have been her daughter because you said there were so many children there. It could have been another spirit.
Yeah, it could have been somebody else's child. So maybe she was there looking for her baby, and who I heard was not the little girl.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the mother probably, her spirit is at that place because her daughter might be buried there. So she's attracted to that, spot. But she's stuck in that memory because that was the last thing she remembered, positive or happy or whatever with her daughter, So, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But that's another place I'd like to check out. Anything that's local. Even I would like to travel the world at some point in time too. When I become a famous YouTuber or something. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, there's actually there's an abandoned ghost town going out to the Ocala forest. It's only I think it's like 30 minutes away from Mud Lake. It's old, like, I don't know what they call it. Like, what do you call those little places? Like the pow shoot 'em up places back in the day.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know the pow shoot 'em up places. I'm not sure.
You know what I'm talking about? Like one of those little, like in the movies, like in the old tiny movies with all the horses.
Oh, like okay, I get you. Like it's like a western.
Yeah. There's one of those here too.
Okay.
That we didn't get to go to, but they said that is so haunted you probably wouldn't want to stay for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. So basically, it's like an actual ghost town.
Yeah, because the last shootout that they had was like really, really bad, and it killed everybody. Like nobody was safe. So all of those people that were there in that town, they all died in the last shootout that they had there.
Right.
In like the 1970s, 60s, 50s, something, like old. Like old. I'm like, wow. And we didn't get to go. No, it was like 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's not that old, but there was more people. Like, it's been there for a long time. It's probably been there since the 1800s.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely make notes of all these places, and then you and I will have to go on a road trip. So why don't you tell me about this story? Is the other, but besides the Mud Lake? Okay, I was really, really intrigued by the Mud Lake, but this other story, the Sunnyland Mental Hospital, that was the other one that really, really caught my attention when you were telling me about it. Where was that located as well?
This was located in Orlando off of Silverstone, like smack dab, almost in the middle.
Okay.
This mental hospital, my friend's mom, I forgot to tell you that, my friend's mom, who died of cancer in February 16th, she was actually admitted to that hospital when it was open.
Okay.
And they say it was a really tough, place to be. And they actually have a cemetery for the people who died at that hospital in Stanford. It's a double cemetery. So there's a cemetery in the front, and then you can either walk or drive back. And there's another cemetery in the back.
Okay.
And that's where all of them were buried. And they say that once they shut it down, that the hospital had completely shut down. Nobody was there. It was shut down for like a good year or so, 2 years. A little boy and his friends went, and they were exploring in the hospital and everything, and the little boy just so happened to fall down the elevator shaft and die.
Oh, wow.
And that's what caused them to demolish the building. so they built that plot where the building was into a park. And the only thing that was standing left was the admissions building. So we decided that we would go and see if we could find the place. And the park is still there. It's in the middle of the sporting complex. And six of us in trucks all went out to this place. And as we were pulling up to park, you could hear the children playing in the park as if there were actually children. And this was like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's amazing.
That you could hear these children. And you could hear the giggles, you could hear the swing set.
Now can everybody that was with you hear this, or was it just you?
Yeah. Everybody heard.
So it has that strong of an energy force there that everybody can experience it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You would definitely hear and feel these little babies.
And you said the swing sets were moving and everything else on their own?
Yes. It was because you could hear as if they were really in the, but there's no swings in this park. There's nothing in this park except for a bench and some trees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they took out all the park equipment and everything. So it was just this big open lot. So we walked around. There was a trail that led down to, it was almost like, well, there's a detention center back there, but we walked all the way down the trail. And my friend, he likes to do stuff like this too. So he was the one that told me that if you smell like metallic-y, like really nasty smell,
like sulfur.
Yes, there's a demonic presence.
That's a demon.
And we weren't near metal.
Yeah.
We weren't near anything like that. But in one spot, it smelled like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, it's dark. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So we ended up running back up the trail to meet everybody else, and then we left. And then we made a date to go back about 3 weeks later, and we were going to go to the admissions building.
Right.
So when we looked at this admissions building, there was nothing there. All it was another empty field, and then there was a covering for where an elevator shaft would have been. So we all get out, and we're looking around, we're walking around, and immediately I could feel everything. Mm-hmm. So it was like you could feel these people just chilling, just walking around, doing their thing, unbothered.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up he brought like a voice reader, so he would ask them questions,
mm-hmm.
and then everybody would start talking, and he would record it, and we would we tried to see if we can hear anything or see if anybody wanted to come through and talk, and nobody came through and talked. But we knew that there were, people there or spirits there because everybody was uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided to take pictures because, you can catch more on pictures than you can trying to record something.
Right.
So everybody was walking around taking pictures, and me and him decided to stand on top of this elevator shaft, and we took a selfie from an angle, and then with no flash at all. And then my friend Justin walked around, and he took pictures while we were standing on top of this elevator shaft cover. And you could actually, if you actually lifted it up, you can lift up both sides, and you could see down in it. And it didn't go down far. It only went about 3 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah.
And then it was dirt. So as we're standing there, I could feel something next to me, but we couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're taking pictures, and then once we get ready to leave, we look through the pictures, and lo and behold, the little boy who had fell down the elevator shaft and died in the other building
was standing next to you?
on top of the elevator shaft behind me.
Yeah.
Like he knew we were going to take a picture.
Right.
So he was just standing there waiting to have his picture taken.
But does he look nice? Did he look like evil? Or?
He was a little, he looked like a nice little, he was like a nice little black boy. Like, he was dressed very nicely. He didn't look scary. And if I were to just randomly see him,
yeah,
I would think that, he was just chilling. Like, he wouldn't have scared me.
Right.
It felt like he wasn't mean at all. Like, he had no hatred, no nothing.
Right.
It was just, he was there.
Yeah.
Because that's where he died. So he had unfinished business, I'm assuming, and he was there.
Yeah.
So we took plenty of pictures. We looked through the pictures. We've seen faces. We've seen eyes and bushes. But it's not, you can tell the difference between an animal and a person. And it was like you could see the person's eyes, you could see the nose, you could see the mouth.
Right.
You just couldn't see the whole round part of the face.
Right.
But you could see the eyes and the mouth and the nose. And the last part, like the last 5-10 minutes that we were there,
right,
there was a light in the distance, and it was on a light pole on the other side. So as we're looking at it, this light kept flickering on and off, and I wondered why we didn't see it flickering before. It wasn't flickering before.
Right.
It kept flickering. The light went off, turned back on, and there was a man. It looked like a white man standing up under the light pole, like up under the light.
Okay.
And we're all looking, and I'm like, is that a person? They're like, where? I said, up under the light. And everybody's looking. We're like, oh my God, there's a person. I said, but I thought we were alone. They're like, we were alone. We are alone. We're the only ones out here. There's nobody out here. I said, so why is he standing there? Why didn't we see him? Why is he standing there? And as soon as I said that, the light went off and came back on, and the man was gone.
Wow. So, but you said everybody was able to see the man?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was a powerful one because he was pulling on the light energy too. So for him to be able to turn the light on and off, he was definitely a powerful one. Very powerful.
Yeah, I feel like he wanted to be seen.
Yes.
I felt like he wanted us to see him at that moment before we left.
Yeah.
So we would take something home with us, like, oh my God, like there was a guy. It was different. Like I was telling my boyfriend earlier that I had actually talked to a spirit as if he was a person.
Yeah, I think when you and I had first met that evening, we were talking about my show before this started. You know, remember I told you I was getting ready to do a podcast, and you asked me what it was about, and I believe that you had told me one time that you literally had a conversation with someone, and you thought it was a person the entire time, and it ended up being a spirit.
Yes! Oh my goodness! I was just telling him about that. Because it was the craziest thing. I swear to God, he was a person.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was walking to my friend's house, and it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, and this boy, he had dreads that looked like they were freeform, as if he didn't comb his hair, and it was a white boy. He was probably only about 17 years old, and he was standing at the corner, and as I was passing him, I thought in my head, I'm like, oh my God, please, God, don't let him talk to me. Like, I do not want to talk to him. And he started talking to me from across the street, so I ended up walking over, and I started talking to him. And I was like asking him questions, and he was telling me like he's been out here for a little while.
Yeah, I remember this story because you told me that something, even though you didn't want to talk to him, something made you think that you had to talk to him. Am I correct?
Yeah, I felt like I had to talk to him, and I did not want to at all.
Yeah, but something was drawing you.
Scared. Yeah, it something told me go talk to him. So I went and I talked to him, and he was telling me how he's been out here for a little while. That, you know, he was just being really sweet. This man looked so kind, and like you could hear it in his voice how sweet he was.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking. And then finally I was like, okay, I have to go. I'm going to be late. I'll see you around, though, if you're still out here, blah, blah, blah. So I go to my friend's house, and in the morning I was talking to her, and I was like, is there a homeless guy around here who has, like, blonde dreads and, you know, he's probably only, like, 16, 17, 18 years old, and he stands at the corner? And she said, oh, yeah, girl, yeah, there's a homeless boy. His mom kicked him out a long time ago because she was having another baby, and there wasn't really any room in there for him, and he started acting out. So they kicked him out, and he slept in a tent in the woods. Mind you, the woods that she was talking about was probably about a good maybe 2,000 feet behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So in the dark, you couldn't see his tent and, like, where he was sleeping. But in the daytime, you could see his tent. You could see, like, where, you know, he would eat at and everything like that.
Okay.
And she told me that she hasn't seen him in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that she thought, you know, because he always sits at the corner when she goes to school at 8, when she comes home from school at 2, and then when she goes over to the person that I was living with's house at 8, and she would come back around 10, 11 o'clock, he would be there, and he wasn't there. So she told me she thought he had died, that he wasn't there anymore because his tent's still there. All his stuff looks like it's still there. She never went up and actually looked.
Right.
But looking from the street, you could see it because you could see straight through his tent.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he can't be dead. I just talked to him yesterday night. She said, there's no way. She was like, he's dead. He's probably been dead for 3 weeks. I said, are you sure? She told me, yeah, she thinks he's been dead for 3 weeks because she hasn't seen him. I said, but don't you, what about, you know, if he moved or something? She's like, he would have taken his tent with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, I was sitting outside having a full-blown conversation with him yesterday. For about 20 minutes, I sat there and I talked to him.
So how did you confirm whether or not he was dead?
Because when I went to go walk away from him, something told me to turn back around and look.
And he was gone.
And as I was looking, he was walking, and he was dissipating.
Oh my!
As
You did,
he was
yeah.
walking.
So you left that part for the ending, for the good part.
He was becoming see-through.
Right.
As he was the farther he walked away from me, and the farther I walked away from him, he was disappearing.
Okay.
And then he was gone.
Right.
And I didn't think about that until she said that she
Thinks he's dead.
knew he was dead.
Or knew he, yeah, she pretty much had, yeah.
Yeah.
Which way was he walking? Like back to his tent or away from you? Like, cause
he was walking away from me, like he was walking down the street.
Okay, and then that's why he disappeared, because he must, maybe, I mean, I don't know if, you know, maybe he was an addict or something like that. Maybe he overdosed in his tent or something, and that's why he's stuck on that corner.
Or something, because it was really weird for me to see that in general, because I've only seen that one other time,
Right.
and it was like, okay, did I really see what I just saw? Like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Like, just playing it back in my mind, like, no, he probably just, like, went around the corner or something. Or like, my mind was playing tricks on me at that point. Like, the whole talking to him situation, okay, that's fine. But, like, after a while, like, the whole him disappearing into the light, maybe that was in my head. And then I played it back, and I'm like, no, because he disappeared into the light.
Right.
He disappeared into the light.
Yeah.
Like the light was probably
like he crossed
only,
over.
Yeah, the light was probably only like 10, I'd give it a good 10 feet.
Right.
Like heel to toe, 10 feet away from him.
Mhm.
So like every step that he took, he got lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until he disappeared.
So can I ask you, could you possibly share with us a little bit of what your conversation was about, though? Because, like you said, you were drawn to him, despite the fact that you didn't want to talk to him for whatever apparent reason. You did not want to talk to him, but something drew you to him. And from what you're making the story sound like is that you were drawn to him so he could tell you some stuff, and he could cross over because he went into the light when he was done. So
yeah, he wasn't. He was just asking me about me, how I was doing, why I was out so late, where I was going to, who I was meeting up with. And when I asked him while he was outside, he told me he chose to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I said, I've asked him probably 3 times during that conversation, why are you out here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it's cold, it's the winter time. Why are you out here? You don't have family? He's like, no, my family doesn't, really talk to me or anything like that. I know I have a newborn, I think he said a newborn sister that was probably born about 4 months prior. I said, but how long have you been out here? And he told me, I've been out here for a long time, on and off. He was, from what he told me, he's been out since he was 14 years old.
Wow.
So on and off.
For about
he
5
was out
years.
There he was out there. His mom lived 5-10 minutes away from where he was.
Mm-hmm.
So she would pass by him when she would go to church, because the church that she went to was right there.
Mm-hmm.
So when she would go to church, she would pass by him. And he said she never talked to him because of what he didn't tell me the reason why they didn't talk,
Mm-hmm.
but he basically was like, we don't talk anymore. We don't have any contact with each other. I just see her when she goes to church.
Right.
And I asked him, was like, you're out here in the cold. Why are you out here in the cold? You don't have friends. You don't have family. And he told me, no, I only have my grandma and my mom, her boyfriend, his baby sister, and then he had a brother
Mm-hmm.
who was probably only like 18 years old
Mm-hmm.
and was still living at the house. So it was like he was kind of giving me the rundown, but not giving me the rundown. And then finally when I told him, like, okay, I have to go, he left.
Right.
I was like, I hope you stay warm. I hope, like, I'll see you again. If you're out here tomorrow, I'll see you. We can talk. But, I got to go because I'm going to be late.
Mm-hmm.
That was already 15 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned around and walked away, and something told me, Christina, turn back around.
Mm-hmm.
Turn back around right now. And I turned my head so quick, and no sooner than I turned my head, within those last 5 steps that he took, he got lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until he, vanished into thin air.
Wow. I have another question. You say that it was cold there and stuff, right? So, what kind of clothing was he wearing?
A t-shirt and some shorts.
Well, there
no
you go.
shoes.
See that? Yeah, that was my curious question. And how? What was the temperature? Because you kept saying, it's cold out here. Why are you out here? So I was thinking, another way to confirm the fact that he was a spirit was what he was wearing during whatever temperature. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, he was only wearing a white beater that had holes, and I will never forget. It was a white beater that had a couple of holes in it. It was dirty. He had on khaki shorts, but the khaki shorts were like distressed at the bottom, as if like he's had them for a long time. He had on no shoes, and it was probably only about 50 at that night. The low for that night was 43.
Wow. So yeah.
But standing close to him, it was like ice cold. Like it was brick cold.
Oh, well, there you go. There's another sign. That's another confirmation.
Like I walked, like the farther I walked away from him, the warmer I got.
Right.
But like standing right next to him, I was freezing.
Yeah.
And I had on pants, a shirt, a jacket, shoes. I was warm until I got close. And then I was really cold, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was only like 43 degrees outside. Like, why is it so cold? Why am I so cold right now? And as I started walking away, I got warmer, warmer, warmer. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. So everything finally, you had all the and then when you talk to your friend, you're like, okay, I've got it now.
Yeah, it was like an epiphany. It was like, oh, wow, that's really what it was. Like, he was a real deal person.
Right.
At one point in time, and now he came back I feel like he came just to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's seen me, and he was like, wow, she was like a good person to talk to. Maybe I can, talk to her. She could tell me things. I could tell her things. And, tell her things that I wasn't able, because the way my friend told it to me, he was such a sweet, loving, caring guy, and he went through a lot living in that house. And that she said she had went to school with him for a little while, like middle school with him she went to. And after that, she didn't see him for a while, and he had went to go live with his grandma when his grandma actually lived by herself before she got, senile and dementia and whatnot, and went to go live with them. He lived with her for a little while. I was like, so that's why you didn't see him? She was like, yeah, I didn't see him, but then randomly, after not seeing him for all this time, he shows up in a tent 5 minutes away from his house.
Right.
How ironic is that?
Yes.
5 minutes away from your house, you're sleeping in a tent because your mother does not want you.
Yeah.
Like, that feeling must have been the most horriblest feeling in the world, because he probably felt like he was so alone and he had nobody. Nobody really wanted to talk to him because he was dirty.
Yeah. And, it just like the movie The Sixth Sense with the little boy, how the spirits always approached him because they noticed that he could see them, you know what I mean, and hear them. They're like, oh, wow, you can see me, you can hear me. And he probably saw that with you and was like, wow, I have someone I could talk to, get whatever my emotions are, my feelings, my thoughts that I want to get out so I can cross over. You know what I mean? Like, he just needed to let that out, and that's what drew you to him at that very moment, you know? So
Yeah.
I really believe that that's what happened. So, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for now, my dear. And I really appreciate you joining me this evening. And
You're
if you're
welcome.
up for it, Saturday night, if you're not busy, you can come on and finish up the rest of your stories that you have to share. Maybe you and I can actually go out one of these days when you get out of work or something. We can go check out maybe a really close local place together, and then we can share the story
Yeah.
together on Saturday. You can even come to my house and we can you can co-host with me, and we'll talk about what we experienced together.
Okay, that sounds great. We should definitely do that.
All right, honey. Well, I hope you have a great night, and thanks again for joining me.
You too. You're welcome. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you enjoyed my guest. Her stories are very, very intriguing. And remember, if you have any stories, excuse me, any stories that you want to share with me, any comments, questions, or anything like that, you can reach me at my Gmail. It's para.notsonormal80@gmail.com, or my Instagram, para.notsonormal80. You can DM me there. And I have Facebook, and also please don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. It is Para Not So Normal, and you can like, subscribe, and share. And thanks again for joining me tonight, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the show. I know I did, and I'm looking forward to entertaining you all again on Saturday. Have a great night, guys. I'm tired.